What's up guys, Jimmy here, and today I want to tell you that I'm finally returning to Street Fighter V Online officially. So the last couple of weeks and months have been kind of crazy for me for a lot of different reasons, but when I uploaded my video about me quitting Street Fighter V, I really didn't expect the video to get that much attention. But it had a really good impact on the community. I felt like all of a sudden a lot of people were talking about online issues with Street Fighter V. More people were trying to expose what is actually going on with the netcode, for example. I'm really happy about that, and I'm actually going to try to make my own contribution to that as well. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but I'm trying to do some PlayStation 4 investigation to the online. I feel like it's worse than on PC, but we'll have to wait and see. A lot of people are doing some interesting work in that regard, and I'm really happy that I seem to have made at least a little bit of a difference and got people to talk about the topics. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. And actually the main reason why I'm finally giving you guys this video about me officially returning to the game online is because of you guys, because you guys gave me a lot of suggestions on how to fix my issues. Although a lot of the suggestions I've tried myself already. I mean, I was kind of desperate, right? And obviously I tried a lot to make this work, and I couldn't make it work. So that was why I quit in the first place. But the suggestion that really seemed to help was getting my hands on a NetDuma router. More specifically, the NetDuma R1 router. I'm going to give you guys a link below so you can check it out for yourself. It's pretty expensive, I have to say. This is why I wasn't even that interested at first. It seems expensive, and I have heard about it before, or I had heard about it before. I even had issues with Street Fighter V through Maximilian Dude, because he seemed to have used it quite a bit in order to avoid laggy opponents that are really far away, because you can essentially like enforce a radius. So that can't happen. Even if games have bad matchmaking, you can enforce that your opponents aren't too far away. But I figured it's not going to help me personally too much, because the issue did not seem to be me getting opponents that are really far away. The issue seemed to be connected to the fact that for some reason, after the Arcade Edition update, even opponents that used to be stable were really laggy all of a sudden. Even opponents that are really close to my location were really laggy all of a sudden. So eventually I ended up buying the NetDuma router, even though I was not very optimistic about it, and it ended up being a big game changer for me. I'm really happy about that, and it was for reasons I didn't even expect. So when you take a look at the software of the NetDuma router, you can immediately see what you're getting connected to. You can see the ping and everything. It's really nice actually. And one thing that I've noticed is there are 3 main locations for servers that I get connected to when I start up Street Fighter V, and those locations are Germany, Poland, and the USA, West Coast USA. So at first I figured, okay, if I get connected to the USA server, my connection quality might be worse, but that ended up not being the case. And as you probably know, Street Fighter V is a P2P game, so you're directly connected to your opponent. There's no server in between, so it shouldn't matter how far the server is away from you. You should still have a good connection to an opponent that is close to you. And yeah, I'm really actually happy about the USA server. The West Coast USA server that I'm getting connected to is really good, but the Polish server seems to be problematic, and this is really interesting. This is definitely something I couldn't have seen without the NetDuma router. Every time I'm connected to the Polish server, I seem to be getting really bad connections all of a sudden when playing Street Fighter V online. I can't be 100% sure on the fact that the Polish server is actually bad and is only giving me bad connections. It could be a coincidence, but I kind of doubt it. I've seen it too many times now to be fairly confident when I say every time I'm connected to the Polish server, I'm getting bad connections for some reason. And this is actually my main guess as to what happened with Arcade Edition, by the way. So when Arcade Edition came around, that's when I started to get really frustrated with the lag issues. I was really excited at first for the Arcade Edition update because it was such a big deal at the time. It was such a major step in the right direction, it seemed, and I was incredibly frustrated from basically day one when Arcade Edition dropped. And I have the suspicion that the reason why this was the case is because Capcom had updated something within the code that made me more likely to get connected to, I don't know, either the Polish server or another server that is also somehow bad. I don't really know why or how. All I can tell you is, from my perspective nowadays, at the very least, I can see that when I'm connected to German servers or USA servers, I'm usually fine. I'm not getting frustrated while playing Street Fighter V, but when I'm connected to the Polish server, I'm always having a bad time, and this is why I avoid those servers nowadays, and thanks to the NetDuma router, that's actually possible. So in the next couple of weeks, I want to pay attention to my ping to my opponents while playing, because recently I noticed sometimes when it's laggy, the ping actually is really bad, and that is normal, right? If the ping is bad, then there's gonna be some rollback involved, so the netcode can't really fix a bad connection. If for some reason the connection to my opponent isn't good, then the best netcode in the world can't do anything about it. But I've also noticed that sometimes when I get massive rollback, the ping is just fine. And that's interesting. That's really interesting because I think it kind of shows that sometimes the rollback netcode is really having a hard time for an unknown reason. And I would love to figure out why that's the case. But at the same time, because I can see the ping, I know nowadays what the bad opponents are that I should be avoiding, that I should actually be blacklisting. So I feel like I'm much more in control nowadays, which has definitely helped me not get frustrated lately when playing Street Fighter V online. So yeah, there seem to be a mix of opponents that for some reason get laggy when you play against them, and this is kind of crazy. This is one thing that I've noticed that is really terrible. Remember the old days when Street Fighter V got released and we waited for like I don't know, 15 minutes to get one match in Street Fighter V? Everybody complained back then, right? And I think what Capcom simply did was they basically said, okay, if you put in a 5-bar connection and if you enforce a 5-bar connection, then the ping has to be really good for the matchmaking to connect you to that opponent, right? Which makes a lot of sense. That's exactly what you want to have. But instead of doing that, what they simply did was, okay, we're gonna redefine what a 5-bar connection is, and if you have like a 150 millisecond ping to any opponent, we'll still consider that a 5-bar connection. And that blows my mind, because that should never happen. That should just never ever happen. So yeah, it's more and more clear to me why Capcom does not want to give us information on the ping when we get connected to an opponent. It's kind of convenient for them to be able to say, well, yeah, most or many casual players don't know what ping numbers mean. If you have a 100 millisecond ping, they might not know what that means, so what's the point of having that information? But I think it's a really convenient excuse, because with the bar system, they can just fake good connections. If they set a 5-bar connection to be at 150 millisecond, which is a really bad connection, they can just make it seem like you're getting connected to a lot of non-laggy opponents, or you should be getting connected to them, and for some reason, maybe because they're on Wi-Fi, they're downloading stuff, maybe that's why you're getting this much rollback, right? There's an infinite number of excuses that Capcom could pull whenever you have lag with a 5-bar connection. And yeah, I'm really happy that I'm using the NetDuma router, because I can actually tell whether the connection to my opponent is shitty or whether there's something else going on here. And this is something I want to pay attention to a lot in the next couple of weeks, and when I'm going to be playing a lot of Street Fighter V, and I'll probably make an update video on the NetDuma router, just so you know what I learned, and hopefully we'll be able to get a better understanding as well as to what's going on with Street Fighter V. at the very least, for now, I'm really happy I can actually play Street Fighter 5 and have fun once again. And yeah, you can check it out. As I said, I'm gonna link the website to the NetDuma router below. As I said, it's quite expensive, and I guess I should stress this one more time. It doesn't guarantee having a good connection, but it gives you a lot more option to investigate shitty connections. And I think that's really valuable. At least for me, that seems to be very valuable for now. I can tell you in a couple of weeks, I guess, if it actually made a big difference, but for now, I'm really happy with the results. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. I have some stream highlights coming up for you guys, though. I haven't posted anything in quite some time, so I really hope you're gonna enjoy those clips. So guys, thanks a lot for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon. Damn it.
Final round. Fight.
Damn it, that was a comeback. I almost lost this. Doesn't mean you should be overly sensitive to stuff like that. Like that's so stupid. I do believe that being super sensitive to this kind of stuff doesn't help, and in fact makes stuff way worse.
Round 2. Fight.
Damn.
Ein weiteres Mysterium Menat Colorless Jartet. Jetzt komme John Arbeiten, D.
Greyhound, vielen Dank für die Bits.
Fight. Round 2. Fight.
Oh no, that was a back hard kick. Damn, that was scary.